Hello, Enrico. New day,
Ciao,
new learning.
ciao Mace.
So good to see you after Christmas. I hope that you are doing well. And today we have the last day of the year. So it's a great moment to get you into an amazing journey with Tailwind.
Wow.
This is something I'm doing since 1 year and I really love this tool. If you never experienced this, let me show you quickly. What is this about? I guess it is a kind of popular topic these days. Like people know that something like this exists, but what is this really about? So for me, for many people, this is the way to like styling again, if they ever like it, because some people just hate styling, from definition. Basically, this is like the utility first CSS framework, which means that this is the framework you are just adding to your project, and then you can use classes like you can see here on your template, whatever it is, like React, pure CSS, Vue, whatever. And then you don't need to make any styles behind. Like everything is here, just in your template. It sounds a little messy on the beginning, but it has a lot of benefits. So the first one is no more looking for styles. You are never like thinking, okay, where are my styles coming from? Like maybe I have like an additional file here, or this whole cascade layers, which seems to be a benefit once you are starting with CSS, but later you know that this is a big pain in your ass. Always some styles are leaking here and there. The Tailwind is just about like simplify everything. So I have my image here and I see all of the styles that I have just here in my classes, right? Another thing, it is only one source of truth. So this is what I said. Always you can just take a look at this and you are not thinking about anything else. It's simplification because this once you learn what kind of utilities you have, you don't need anything like SCSS, additional stuff, things like this. Of course, you need to know CSS. It is not like you can just use this without any knowledge about the CSS, but still everything is simpler. And I will try to prove this for you also today. It's about the speed, really. If you're just using this for, let's say, a month or two, you will immediately see that everything what you are creating is just way faster than before. Also, there are a lot of reasons about that, but I will try to show you this. And this is consistency. This is something I love. If you are working on some Tailwind project and then you are skipping to another one, you don't need to learn all of the utilities that other developers have at this project or anything else, or how you structure your hierarchy in your classes, whatever, whether you are using BAM or something other. No, it's always the same. And I've been already, I don't know, working with, I guess maybe 10 or dozen big commercial projects. And every time I switch from one project to another, it was a big pain, like how you structure your classes, what kind of utilities or helpers you are using. And here you don't have this anymore. You are just looking at this template. And once you know Tailwind, you already know what is this. And even if you don't know Tailwind, looking at this, I guess you can say pretty like a lot about that. Like what could be PT, probably padding top. Yeah, it is. Okay. Are there any cons? Of course they are. So for some people, it is like, your templates are much more verbose. This is definitely something which happens. No, not everyone likes it. This is also like kind of connected with separation of concerns. So for some people, it is always like good to separate concerns. And in general, I agree, especially for the code. But here I am not so convinced because for me, styles and templates, they are living pretty close to each other. So it could be like a cons, but also as a pros that you are kind of mixing this in a better way. Because for me, jumping over like here is my template, here is my styling, what I have this. If you know HTML and CSS, you know that they are all like leaking and mixing. It's not like you can use CSS without HTML and opposite side. Like you need both. The structure is important also from like template point of view and other stuff. So that's it. This is some kind of concern and pros depends on how you are looking at this. And the last one is, of course, some kind of learning cost. So, of course, once you are starting with this, you will have this impression that it slows you down. It's a little much more challenging. But actually, and this is what Adam Wadden is saying, the creator of Tailwind CSS, that we can talk about this for hours. But the truth is, you were never going to believe me until you actually tried. So let's try it out. I will try to show you something, how the Tailwind is working. I have a very easy application here with only this like app. This is the React application. Ugly page here because we have no styles. What I've done in this project so far is only added Tailwind, and very quickly you will find everything on their website. So this is Tailwind CSS. You can find like how to install this for Vite or for Webpack or whatever. I have Vite here, so the configuration is pretty easy. Usually it is something about like add the meaningful Tailwind config file, install, of course, packages. So it is Tailwind, Pretternode, Post CSS, couple. You can find, of course, on the web page what you need. But also it is so cool because you have Post CSS, which means that whatever you will build, finally in your bundle will only land the styles that you are using, not like the whole Tailwind and all the things. It's like immediately making tree shaking and adding only the styles that you really need. And the bundle size is usually way less because you are using the same stuff over like if you are defining Flex, it's by their utility, so everywhere is the same code. So you are only like adding the styles for Flex once, not like on every page you are writing Flex again and again and again. And finally, you need to put these things in your somewhere in like main CSS or whatever it is. Usually it's the only one CSS you really need, so it is like that. I also added this one to specifically for this page to keep everything like hide for 100%, because also my app is in some it is happening in some root. So I just for this root element, I just added hide 100%. And then here we have our template. So now what we want to do about it. Let's say that we want to start with some kind of layout. Let's put everything on the center of this page. So since we have only a fragment here, I don't really have element I can add my classes to. I will try to create a div element above everything. And what I am doing, how the Tailwind is working, I'm just adding some classes. So let's create a class name. This is what we are doing in React. And first of all, let's say I would like to make my page, I mean, this element also 100% hide. So this is what I'm doing. H-full. I have also some helpers for Tailwind to use them, but also in Visual Studio Code, you will have the same if you are installing some plugin. And then if I want to use, let's say, grid, I'm just making this grid. So it's already grid on the main element. And later, let's say I want to place everything in center, so I can use place content center. Once I'm saving this, ta-da, everything is just, grid. This is on center, right? This is not actually what I want to do because I would like to keep stuff a little separated. So I have some header, let's put it on top. I also have some footer, let's keep it on bottom, and let's extend the middle part. These are our actually episodes that we made so far. This data, let's grow it on the center. So I will just remove the grid part. Instead of this, I'm gonna make flex. And by doing flex call, it means like, the flex direction is column. So this is what I'm doing here. And then for the main part, which is this, also let's make something about it. So I will say, okay, flex grow first. This part will then grow to use like, the whole place that we have there. Also use flex on this, also flex call. This time I want to keep things on center, so justify center and also item center. Once again, it is similar, but now, this part is adapting to the minimal high and the same here. The very popular question, the one that I had once I started with Tailwind. Okay, but what if I just want to use some kind of values which are not there? Like, for example, I want to say that this main part shouldn't be bigger than, let's say, 600 pixels. How can I do this? Like, this is arbitrary value, right? Something out of the box. So you can say something like this. Yeah, there are some things like some default, let's say, values that you have, but whenever you want to use something custom, you can do this like this. So it is just, 600 pixels or 3 RAMs or whatever it is. For me, let's say 600 pixels and bam, it's already there. If I want to like scroll over this, I'm using overflow auto. So ta-da, now we have like 600 pixels, stuff with some overflow. So as you can see, of course, it requires some kind of knowledge, but other than that, it's also super easy. Now let's create some background for this. So what if I will just want to add some background? Let's say, for example, background, I don't know, maybe amber. Ta-da, we have background amber. We have some predefined colors, as you can see here. Sorry, once again. So we have a lot of colors which Tailwinds deliver to us. For example, red, white, black. But what if I would like to use some kind of, let's say, primary color? I don't have any primary color defined. I can define it easily in our Tailwind config. So just I'm extending the existing theme with colors, and I'm adding my own color. So I will say this is primary. This is just my name. I can use whatever I want. And let's create this one. Okay, and now it's working. If I will just call this, this is Enrico color, I will immediately, so Tailwind will prepare for me the stuff I can use here, like Enrico, right?
Nice.
Okay, let's return to primary. I really like Enrico, but this is not what we are usually doing. The section part actually should probably be still white. So this is how I would like it to see. Let's say it's a little different. And now what if we want to make a little more fancy? So the color is okay, but what, for example, if I want to use a gradient, then I need to probably leave Tailwind. Yes, no, of course not. You can say something like, okay, BG gradient, sorry, which direction to, I don't know, maybe bottom right, and start from primary. Ta-da! You already have it. It's pretty easy, right? Okay, now the card. So I already started making the card. So this is what I have, this section. Let's say that it will be a card. So I already added a background white to this to distinguish this from the other. But what about the shadow? Something which can like make it more separated from the rest. So of course I can say shadow. Now I already have some shadow, but let's say I don't see it really. So let's make maybe shadow XL. Now I can see something right here. It's looking better. Maybe also some rounded corners. So maybe rounded. It is there, but it's very simple. It's sorry, small. Let's use bigger one. If you are curious, like, what does it even mean to XL? This is something you can find here. Here, basically, in this quick search, you are just putting whatever from CSS. So, for example, radius, right? Radius. And you see, okay, already it's something for border radius. And this is the property you can use. So either you can say none or you can say small. And this actually means this. I've used this one, which actually mean 1 rem, which is usually 16 pixels, right? If you didn't change anything. I already kind of know this, so I'm not spend more time on this, but I just want to show you, if you are starting with Tailwind CSS, you are just having this tab open and just searching for everything you want. You can find literally everything what exists in CSS. So also now add some padding to this. I can either add padding like this. For example, all padding is 8. Usually this is just multiplied by 4, which means it will be 32 pixels everywhere like this. But I would like to keep separated padding for vertical padding and horizontal padding. So let's say something like this one could be like this, and this one, vertical one, will be like that. And then I have 2 different paddings, right? This one is a little lower, this one is a little bigger. And I already have something I can call like a part, right? So let's go further. I like this, but what about the headers? I don't like how my header really looks like here, and also this one. So let's try to modify them. And this is another, like, the custom thing people used to ask. Okay, what if I would like to use my custom fonts, for example? No problem for that. So I already have a font. I'm just dragging this font somewhere. Let's create maybe a new folder in public, which is like the fonts. And I'm just drop the fonts file that I get from Google. This is the one. And now how can I use this custom font in Tailwind? So I'm starting with a CSS file. Once again, here I actually need to add something. So I can, this is just the standard thing that you're adding in your CSS, like this. And then the second thing is, in my Tailwind config, I can extend one more time something which I called font family, just like this. So I'm just basically choosing some arbitrary name and saying what kind of font I want to use as this font. And having just this, I can immediately jump again to my application and say, okay, so this is the header. Let's put some class names here. And my font, I want to use Montes font. Already have the utility for this, right? Woo! And look at this.
Yes.
different font, right? Let's put some more styling on this. As you can see, also CSS kind of reduce some default browser styles. So for example, my H1 doesn't really look like the default H1 in browser, right? It is not bold. So let's put some styles on this. Actually, I will just copy this one from my slides to make it a little faster. And I will tell you what we have. So text 6L is about the size. Font bold, it's about just making it bold. Text white is just about changing the color of the text. This is something we already saw. And text center, say, okay, put it on center, right? So very easy one. Let's put another one on my header here, because I have another header, this one. If we save this, it already looks different. So it also adds, I've also added some padding, make it bold, make it a little bigger, change the color of it, and also added drop shadow, just like this. Almost the last one is the table, how we can structure the tables. And let's say that I would like to distinguish rows. First of all, I will start with changing the color of the text here for my headers. And then let's create some kind of paddings here. I think let's create padding here and here and here, and it looks better. And also if I want to conditionally add some classes, I can of course use React or whatever I'm using. Here I'm using React. So let's say that conditionally, I would say that whenever index modulo 2 is 0, which means for even rows, right? We can add something like background gray 600 and maybe text white then. Whenever we have odd rows, just add nothing. And then, ta-da, we already have a table and stuff like this. And maybe for the last row, we can also keep stuff like on right. So we can say, sorry, something like text right. Okay, I can make a lot of stuff like this. It is not about that. I would like to show you something else yet, like how to stick your title. So for example, right now when I'm just scrolling, this title is just disappearing. I can stick whatever I want, but let's, to keep it simple, let's stick this one. So I can just say, okay, my whole header, whatever it will be here, let's stick it. So I'm just saying sticky, top 0. That should be it. Yeah, it is. Also, it doesn't look pretty good right now. So let's maybe add some background to this, like background white. And some padding from the top. Ta-da! And now, okay, the padding maybe is not necessary here. And now something really interesting. What if I would like to just, maybe hide the last column on the screens like this? So then I'm starting from saying, okay, so this is the column that I would like to hide. So let's say with hidden and hidden here. I didn't actually change this before. So now this is hidden, right? And now how can I just show it whenever I have like a bigger screen? I'm doing this like this. So XL, this is like a breakpoint. You can find once more time on their page what kind of breakpoint it is. What does it really mean? I guess it is like something about 1280. And here I'm also about showing this on Excel. So this means, like, by default, this is hidden. Whenever you hit this breakpoint, just change the display type to table cell. So now, sorry, saving here, not here. Ha! Can you see that?
Yes.
It's just like that,
That's
right?
amazing.
And of
So
course, you can
easy.
define your own breakpoints and stuff like this. I will not tell you more about it. And okay, my last thing was about styling footer, but because it's already a little long one, I don't want to keep you longer here. But the bonus thing is, which I really want to show you, is Tailwind UI. So very often when people are about to start using Tailwind, the one thing which prevents them is, okay, but I will need to create everything from scratch. Because the idea behind Tailwind is you can design everything however you want, but also they will not deliver you any like default components or other stuff that you have in other systems, because this doesn't make sense, right? It is on you how you want to implement that. So the solution is Tailwind UI. This is not free one, but it's not costing a lot of money, and there are still some free templates there. And what is this? So this is like the set of partially free components where you can, not components, actually, they are templates. So you can just find whatever you want here. Like, let's say that I want to find some ready footer like this, for example, footers, right? Just choose one that you like. Let's say I like, all are pretty good, but let's say I like this one. Then here you can choose, okay, should I prepare your template for React, Vue, or HTML? I like the HTML one on this, sorry, on this project, actually, I like React, but it doesn't matter. It could be even like the basic HTML, why not? I'm just getting all of this, going back to my project, and just putting this here, saving, and just take a look at this. I already have it.
Wow.
And everything is styled with Tailwind, which means, of course, I should probably, change this part, like use my own stuff, but you already have like pre-prepared components that you can use, but they are not strictly components. They are rather like a template. So you can use it however you want. You can add some logic to this. If you need some, I mean, some of them has already some logic, for example, some pop-ups or stuff like this. They are built on top of headless UI. So also the free thing you can add to your project and just use it. So if you like want to start with something already, you can just find components there and use it to your advantage. So that's it, Enrico.
This is amazing. I've been hearing a lot about Tailwind CSS and I've not been using this myself. And it looks so good, so flexible and easy to approach, right? And there is a little bit of a learning curve to learn all the handles, but wow, it looks amazing. Thank you for sharing much. I loved it.
Thank you for watching, and I recommend you just try it on yourself and you will just like it. I hope.
Will do.
And Enrico, since this is the last day of the year, once again, I would like to wish you everything what's best in our next year.
Yeah, thank you, my friend. Happy New Year to you. Let's hope that the new year will bring a lot of great stuff for both of us and for everyone else, and a lot of fun.
Best wishes.
Ciao, bello.
Cheers.